Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Creative Contact. I'm your host, Orion. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Thank you so much. This is a really special episode because this could be it's the start of an era, it's the potential end of an era, and I got a lot I want to talk to you all about, but I'm coming off of potentially like some of the worst strep throat I've ever had. And so my throat isn't exactly up to a super long pod today. I know those are famous last words, but yeah, this was like a deathly week where exactly a week ago, I woke up a really bad headache Sunday morning, and then things just took like a steep decline after that. Monday, I tried to go to the gym in the morning to do like some shoulder rehab, and even walking there, I like almost tripped because like I was so kind of dizzy and out of sorts. It was just strange. But shout out to ChatGPT for being my primary care physician on this entire adventure, where WebMD is like, you're gonna die, where ChatGPT is like, well, maybe it's this, how about you try that. One nice thing about Colombia is you can get antibiotics over the counter, so I was like, a lot of this feels like strep throat, so I was like, let me try it. Interestingly enough, they don't really do strep throat down here, so they don't have like rapid tests, like rapid strep tests. They don't really have strep tests like that. I was like, do y'all just like not get strep throat or something? What's up with that? So anyways, it's been interesting, but I have a quick story that I want to talk to you about, and then kind of a big life update. Well, two big kind of life updates. One's like a business update, one's like a more of a life update. So this is going to be a love story of sorts, where when I first started seeing my girlfriend in late October, early November, she told me that there was this Spanish rapper that she really loved. His name was Relsby. Dude kind of has a mustache like this. I was like, okay, so I got some competition. And the tickets were like selling out. She's like, oh man, the tickets are selling out. She's like, none of my friends got any, but I still want to go see him. And this was again like early October. Early November. And I was like, you know what, this girl's really cute. I'm really enjoying the vibes. And so I was like, I think I'm going to get a ticket as a surprise, even though the ticket was in May. Like the show was in May. But I was like, I have a good feeling about this. The tickets weren't like that expensive. It was like $50. And I was like, I was like, this would be a cool bet to just be like, oh, damn, that's sorry you got to go to the show, solo. And then 6 months later, be like, surprise, bitch, I'm here. Like that was always kind of my vision for it. Was just like, I'd be like, hey, sorry, baby, you got to go to the show, like alone, blah, blah, blah. And then just like show up at the show. That was always my vision, was like, I would see her dancing and I would like come up behind her and like put my arms around her. So I buy the tickets. I don't tell her that I get them. And there's like this certain section. It was like in this big like theater hall. But she told me the section that she got her tickets in. And it was like this very distinct section because it was cheaper, because like the no alcohol and kids section. So I was like, cool. So I already knew the section. So I get the tickets. I kind of forget about them until like a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, that show's coming up. That surprise. And then I got sick earlier this week. So I was like, damn it. Like I hope that I'm better. And so my plan was to surprise her. It was always going to be that I was like, I'm so sorry that you got to go to the show alone, blah, 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 send her on her way. And then like, it's not like I really need to see his performance or like any opener. So I was going to go back, change, and then just like go to the show a little bit later on and then like surprise her there. But as it turned out, when it was, so the show was last Friday, and like I said, I kind of already had this vision about what was going to play out. But when Friday came around, she was like, hey, do you mind? At first, she's like, I don't think I'm going to go to the show. I think I'm going to sell my ticket. I was like, don't sell your ticket. I was like, think about it. Don't sell your ticket, because I don't want to be like, hey, I'm coming too. Don't make me like, blow the surprise. I was like, no, baby, just go. You've been wanting to go. Like, how about you go to the show, and if it's the night of and you really don't want to go, then I'll just buy your ticket. Don't sweat it. She's like, okay. But anyways, hanging. She's like, hey, can you come with me to then like stand in line with me, because it's going to be a long line. It's outside. It's kind of like the sketchy part of the town. I was like, this is my in, even though I was wearing like a tank top, like pretty similar to this one. I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, that's not a problem. I can go with you and wait in line. And so we wait in line for the show. And then it's like, we get to the point where like they have to scan their ticket. And she's like, okay, baby, thanks for coming with me. I was like, not a problem. And you're like, hug and kiss goodbye. And then she kind of goes forward. She scans her ticket and goes in. And then I I haven't told her anything. So I just have the ticket on my phone. And it's like, bloop. And then I will follow her. And she turns out, she's like, but what do you, I was like, no, I just told him that I'm going to just like accompany you in. I'm just going to come in and make sure you go to the show. She's like, okay. And she's really questioning it. And then you go into the part, like the people have like the wristbands. We came to the wristbands. They slapped wristband on her, wristband on me. She was like, we got to that part. She's like, okay, well, this actually got to give it a wristband here. So she's like, well, baby, thank you so much for going with me. Gives me a kiss, says goodbye again, gets a wristband and goes forward. And then I get my wristband and follow her in. And she still's like kind of confused, but I think still hasn't put it together. It's like in her brain, it can't compute that I would ever go to a concert, I think, because I'm just so not the concert guy. And then we come in where they have to like go through your bags and stuff. And I had 2 things of cough drops because I was just on the tail end of my sickness. And he like made me throw them away. She's like, no, she's like, don't throw them away because you aren't going to stay. And I was like, yeah, I'm not. But I was like, let me just throw them away anyway. So I toss them. And then I like come in and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I just want to make sure, I can come in here for the show. She's like, are you staying? I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay. She's like, do you have a ticket? I was like, yeah, I got a ticket. And she was thrilled. And it was like one of those, I remember when I was in college, I made a bet with a friend about a ring pop sophomore year. She was my best friend. And it was something that I wouldn't remember. We made it. It was just like a half-ass bet during one class. She's like, I bet you won't remember that or give it to me during graduation or something. I was like, I bet I will. She was like, okay. 2 years I kept this ring popping on graduation. I'm like, boom, take that. It was delayed gratification and surprises are like my secret sauce. So I was super stoked that this turned out as well as it did. I was still very sick. My throat was sore, so I wasn't able to talk much. Fortunately, I had somehow convinced her to get me her earplugs, like before we left her house. I was like, yeah, because sometimes when you stand in line, the music is really loud. She's like, okay. She didn't really question it. So I had some earplugs, so I'm an old man shit. So she's like screaming her ass off for this rapper, this Spanish dude. I'm just like holding her from behind and kind of like 2-stepping a little bit. But it was just so nice to have that little surprise for her, and it like everything kind of worked out. Even though I always had this vision of like how it was actually going to play out, is actually kind of better. And sometimes, even though you have surprise, you got to go with the punches. And yeah, so it was really cute. And then yesterday I was still sick, so we decided to just go to the movies. And so we went to go see Sinners. Curious what you thought about it as a movie. You tell me what you thought, and then I'll tell you what I thought. But what I want to talk to you about is this is actually a huge week, because potentially, so Shorty's packing everything up. She's moving. Plus, she's going to come with me on the road for the next 6 months. We're going to go home, see family in New York, and then we're going to go to start in Brazil and then go travel for 6 months. Kind of is like our big test to see if we're really going to make it. And I got a place for us because she has to like move all her stuff out. So I had a place for us. And so potentially, depending on how things shake out, depending on how I'm able to finesse this relationship, depending on whatever life has in store for us, we're moving into like a temporary place next weekend. And then while she's kind of like finishing up like repainting her place, and then we're leaving at the end of May. So this might be, depending on how what the cards life has for me, this might be the last week that I ever have living alone as a bachelor. This might be the very last week of bachelor life in my life. And so, yeah, I'm kind of nostalgic. Like, I kind of already miss it, being able to like have my shit everywhere and just like everything's kind of a mess, and just like be topless and just wear my box. It's like, the kind of privileges that you have in bachelor life. But, well, basically 34, and it's about time to try really living with somebody again. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. But it's kind of like the end of an era, and there's definitely some stuff I think I'm going to miss about it. But there's a lot I think to be gained with living with a partner too. And I think a lot of this big step is going to be like learning how to not work so much, to be more efficient with my work time so I can spend more time with her, which brings me to this really big next piece of life. And this is, like I said, it's the end of something new, bachelor life, start of something new, living with her, and also the first big book for this business that I'm starting. As thinking about things more like a publisher than as an author. And this first big book, it's called The Writer's Daily Compass. I've been working on it since July. And it's finally ready. I've finally got like the interior design for both the paperback, the hardcover, the full, the jacket, everything like proofread like 3 times. I got the audiobook recorded. That's actually what ended up kind of messing my throat up in the first place. So I was recording for like 3 hours for 2 days in a row. And then I think kind of like, left my throat vulnerable because it kind of like, I don't know about it, but I think kind of like when you get hoarse from talking so much, like kind of like tears your vocal cords a little bit or rips the mucus off or something. So you're more vulnerable. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. I'm like, this is the one, this book is a life, the game changer. But I am really excited about it. So if you are a writer or you're interested in writing or you know any writers, let me know because I'd love to send you a copy. But it's basically 365 days of quotes from inspiring thinkers, entrepreneurs, writers. And then it's like a little reflection. It's like the Daily Stoic. Think of it as like the Daily Stoic, but for writers. And so, yeah, I'm excited for it. And I'm launching this week. I'm hiring a couple different TikTok influencers, like big book talk influencer people to help me market it. First time running Amazon ads. And yeah, it's all one big kind of learning experience. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how it does. So again, if it's not this book, it's the next one. If it's not this business, it's the next one. But we're just out here shooting shots and trying to build a little dream life out of nothing. So I'm not sure what these life updates are going to look like going forward if I do end up living with Shorty, because they might be a little bit less intimate, obviously, because she'll probably be around. But I'm excited for it, and I'm looking forward to see how stuff goes with the business. Looking forward to how things are going, as a partner. I'm feeling really good about that. Boyfriend life, potential husband life, potential dad life down the line. And that's something we've been talking a lot about. It's like, how could we swing it down here? Because I don't want to live in upstate New York with the folks, much as I love them. I'm not moving back to Cucuta, which is like her little city on the border of Venezuela. And kids can be really hard. As I've been chatting with a buddy right now, one of my old buddies, and he doesn't have any family help. And he's like, yeah, man, it's really tough. And I've been thinking about, at that point, if we do have kids, like maybe hiring a little, down here is just so much more common. Do it, but like hire a little Colombian lady, like an old little lady who's, retired and looking for something to do and go with childcare, and who can like kind of be our like live-in chef and nanny, and like just always have her there. Basically, just like have another room, and she just basically just lives with us and helps us out. Kind of becomes part of the family, and I think that's probably going to be the move if we do it, because it does seem like it's, it'd be nice to have the help. And I feel like this is probably going to be where we end up building our life together, is down here in Medellin. But, before we put the cart in front of the horse, we got to make it through the next 6 months and going to see where that, adventure goes. So I'm looking forward to it. Next time you hear from me, I may be wifed up, in my, apartment at the Shorty. And the book will be launched, and it'll be doing however it's doing, and hopefully I won't be sick. So lots of things to look forward to. Thank you so much as always for tuning in. Like I said, going to be short and quick and dirty today, but yeah, it's been an interesting last few years recording these pods, doing life updates, keeping track of things, and it's cool to see the progress, even if it doesn't always feel like there's progress in the moment. Appreciate y'all as always. Check out my next one. Peace.